Doug here at the Iron Village Strength and Conditioning Facility. So today's workout, it's a 5-movement circuit today, and we talked about in the article kind of the benefits and why we like to use the circuit style training just for all those great benefits that we discussed: strength building, the cardiovascular benefit, the fat loss benefit, and so on. So it's a 5-movement circuit and a little bit of method to the madness, if you will. We're not just throwing 5 exercises up there, but we're going to have kind of a lower body focus first. It's actually really a full body, but I'll explain. The second movement will be more of an upper body focus. Third movement will be more of a torso or core movement. And then movement 5, movement 4 will be back to a lower body focus. And the movement 5 is really a two for one, if you will. So it's going to be a upper and then a core as well, and you'll see what I mean in a second. So we go lower, upper, mid, lower, upper, mid. Okay, just so we kind of have a template to follow. So I'm just going to get right into the movements. I've got the glide board a little bit low. Absolutely, if you want to raise it, as you guys all know, to make some of the movements more challenging, you certainly can. For this first one, the reverse lunge, and all of these, I should note, can be just done with just the total gym. I have a pair of dumbbells that I'm going to use for the first exercise, just to add that overhead press. If you don't have access to dumbbells, you don't have to do the overhead press, of course. Or if you want to, and you don't have dumbbells, you could use a medicine ball, can of soup, something, if you just want to get that overhead press movement in. I like to add that overhead press just for a little bit of added core stability and shoulder integrity work as well. So the first movement is a reverse lunge. I'm not going to go through every rep that I have listed. I think it's 8 reps for this first exercise. I'll just do a few just so you can see kind of the flow of the circuit, so you get the idea. We're going to set up right in front of the board. I want the ball of the foot on the board, not the laces. So I'm going to start. We'll keep a neutral grip throughout, meaning palms will always face each other. I'm going to slide it back to get that nice stretch in the backside hip flexor. As I come up into hip extension, I'm going to add that overhead press and then back down. So I'm going to reverse lunge, press, reverse lunge, and press. And again, we do 8 on each side. Okay? After that, we're going to put those down. We're going to attach the cable. And I tried to set this up so there's minimal equipment adjustments. We have to attach this once, and we've got to attach the wing attachments once as well. So we're going to attach this guy. For the row. So we're going seated row. So I'm going to knuckle down, anchor down here, get myself set. If you've got smaller hands and holding both are challenging, some of you may know this little trick. You can just pull that handle to the side. So I'm going to hold the handle with one, the rubber piece, if you will, and then I'm going to hold the nylon with that other one. So I've got a nice firm grip on both. Feet are coming off, so I'm nice and set here, and then I'm going to add that row pattern. Again, also a neutral grip, so palms always facing in towards the body. I'm going to add the row. I want a little bit of a rotation here through the torso, so a little rotation here, not excessive, and not dropping down into poor posture. So staying relatively upright. We talked about the posture, and so I want to keep that backside active throughout, so I'm not getting sloppy. Staying active here, and a little bit of rotation as I pull right to the ribs. Okay, rotate. And on this one, I believe it's 10 per side that's listed here. So I'll do 10. I can anchor down here as I switch the hands. Once I'm set, the feet will come off, so the resistance is back up into the hands. And again, add that little bit of rotation throughout the movement there. Okay, and I'm ready to come off. Knuckle down. So this is really the most that we have to transition is this one here. The cable's going to come off. Set that out of the way. And then movements. The rest of the movements we don't have to do any adjusting. We're just going to attach the attachments here. So this is your rest right here as you're adjusting and changing out the equipment a little bit. Consider this your rest. So as soon as you have the equipment in, because you want to try to keep going through this. You know, you're not trying to break records, but you're trying to keep a nice steady pace throughout. Okay. So for that first core movement, we're doing leg lifts. A couple different options here. So we want to bring it up, the board up, so the top of the head is near the top of the board, okay? You can grab onto a couple different options here, whatever feels comfortable. I like grabbing right up to the top, okay? I'll show you 2 options, there's a few, but if we're going bilateral, lifting both legs, we can lift and lower the legs here. Okay, we could also do knee tucks where we bend the knee, bring the knees in and back out. Okay, whichever option you choose, real important to not go into any sort of hyperextension at the end range of the movement. What I mean by that is as I lower the legs down, if you watch here, and more importantly here, I don't want to arch that back. That puts a lot of pressure on the low back, so I really want to try to keep this guy braced. Okay, keep that torso tense and braced. Really almost press that low back a little bit more into the ground, into the board, if you will. Okay, so I'm not letting that lumbar spine arch into extension or hyperextension. Okay, after our 12 reps, I believe, of that, all you have to do is spin around, bring the board up, and we're going right into our hamstring curls. So feet go in, heels first, kind of angle in, heels in, and then we're going to lay back down. We're driving our heels in, pulling our butt towards our heels. Okay, so we've got that nice hamstring firing there, and then come back down, here to here. Okay, of course you could raise the board up to make this one more challenging. You could also go single leg, which I'll demo a few. These are really tough. Just leg off and bring one leg in at a time if you wanted to do that as well. Okay, and then so that's number 5. Come on down. Don't have to take the attachments off of this last one because the board's not going up that far. And this is what I was talking about being kind of a 2-for-1. So we're going to alternate between a push-up and then that Superman or anti-extension kind of fall-out exercise. So we're going to go board off, up. Okay, so more unstable. So floating board here. So I'm going to perform one push-up, come up, and then after that I'm going to extend out into that Superman pattern and then come back to push-up. So we're just alternating. Push-up, Superman. Push-up and Superman. 8 of each of these, and you're definitely going to feel that midsection talking. Push-up is standard push-up. Elbows stay relatively close to the body. Try to get that chest down. We don't want to drop the head into this sort of pattern here. Okay, keep the head up. Chest as close to the board as you can. On the Superman, much like that lying leg lift there, make sure we don't go into any sort of hyperextension. So as I extend the board out, I want to keep those abs braced. So see my hips stay up, I don't drop down. Okay, real important to protect the back and keep the tummy tight. Keep tension throughout, especially on those 2 core movements. So 5 movement circuit, really 6 movements if you count that last one. Great way to work the entire body like we talked about. We just don't want to focus on the legs because it's a little more cycle specific. It's really, at the end of the day, it's athlete specific. We're just trying to get their body strong and prepared for when they're out on the road.